Today, when you wake up in the morning, you probably reach for one of the most important objects in your entire life. Not your phone, not your computer, your glasses. Without them, the room changes instantly. The numbers on your alarm clock become impossible to read. The words on your phone turn into meaningless shapes. Faces across the room become blurry shadows. But then, you put on your glasses. The clock becomes clear. The letters return. The faces become recognizable. For modern humans, poor eyesight is usually just a small inconvenience. A visit to an eye doctor. A simple prescription. A pair of lenses. Problem solved. But for most of human history, that small problem had no solution. There were no glasses, no contact lenses, no way to simply correct what nature had taken away. And that raises a question. Before glasses existed, what happened to people who could not see clearly? How did they survive in a world that was permanently out of focus? For ancient humans, eyesight was not just about comfort. It was about survival. Your eyes were your warning system. They helped you find food, recognize enemies, navigate through an unpredictable world. Imagine living thousands of years ago. There are no hospitals, no technology, no visual aids. Your vision slowly becomes worse. The distant world begins to disappear. You cannot clearly see movement far away. You cannot judge what is hiding beyond the trees. You cannot easily predict what is approaching. In a world where every mistake could mean injury or death, a blurry world was not just inconvenient. It was dangerous. Nature did not slow down because your eyes failed. But interestingly, the biggest vision crisis did not come from the wilderness. It came from civilization itself. When humans began writing, when we started preserving knowledge, when books became the foundation of society, our eyes faced a completely new challenge. For thousands of years, scholars, doctors, and monks spent their lives staring at tiny letters. They copied manuscripts by hand. They recorded history. They protected humanity's knowledge. But then something happened. Their own eyes began to betray them. As people grew older, the lens inside the human eye became harder. Focusing on nearby objects became increasingly difficult. This condition is called presbyopia, or simply aging eyesight. Today, someone in their 40s can solve this problem in minutes. But hundreds of years ago, it could destroy a person's ability to work. Imagine spending your entire life surrounded by books. Your knowledge is still there. Your experience is still valuable. But one day, the letters on the page slowly disappear. You are still capable of thinking, but you can no longer access the information in front of you. Human wisdom was being limited by human biology. So people began searching for a solution. And some of the earliest attempts were surprisingly simple. Not glasses, but a piece of transparent material, something later known as the reading stone. Around 1,000 years ago, some European monks discovered something remarkable. If they placed a polished piece of transparent quartz or glass directly on top of a page, the letters underneath appeared larger. Words that were once too small became readable again. It was not elegant, it was not portable. But it represented something revolutionary. For the first time, humans discovered. Maybe the problem was not the eye itself. Maybe the problem was controlling light. Long before modern glasses, ancient civilizations also experimented with other strange solutions. One of the most famous stories comes from ancient Rome. According to historical accounts, the Roman Emperor Nero had poor eyesight. During gladiator battles, he reportedly used a polished green emerald held in front of his eye. The gemstone may have helped filter the intense sunlight of the arena, and possibly changed how he viewed the scene. But this was not a pair of glasses. It was expensive. It was fragile. It was something only an emperor could own. The blurry world remained unchanged. The true breakthrough came centuries later. In the 13th century, European glassmaking technology began improving rapidly, especially in Italy. Craftsmen learned how to create clearer and more precise lenses. They discovered a powerful idea. The shape of glass could change the path of light. And by changing light, humans could change vision. The first real eyeglasses appeared, but these early glasses were far from modern. They had no comfortable frames, no arms resting behind the ears. They simply balanced on the nose. One wrong movement, and they could fall away. And even worse, they mainly helped older people who struggled to read. If you were young and nearsighted, you still had almost no solution. Eventually, humans learned that different eyes needed different answers. Convex lenses could help people who struggled to see close objects. Concave lenses could help people who could not see distant objects clearly. Slowly, glasses became more accurate, more comfortable, and more available. A tool that once belonged only to scholars and wealthy people started becoming something ordinary families could own. But the biggest revolution for glasses came from another invention. The printing press. Around 1450, Johannes Gutenberg changed human civilization forever. Books were no longer rare objects locked inside monasteries. They spread everywhere. More people learned to read. More people gained access to knowledge. But this created an unexpected problem. Millions of people could now own books. Yet, as they reached middle age, many discovered they could no longer read them. Humanity had created an explosion of knowledge, but human eyes were struggling to keep up. This demand pushed glasses from a luxury item into a necessity. The printing press spread knowledge, and glasses protected the people who carried that knowledge forward. Over the centuries, glasses continue to evolve. Better lenses, lighter frames, bifocals, contact lenses, laser eye surgery. Each generation found a new way to overcome the limitations of the human body. Without glasses, the modern world would look completely different. Scientists would lose years of research. Engineers would struggle to continue designing. Teachers would lose the ability to share knowledge. A person's wisdom could disappear. Not because their mind became weaker, but because their eyes could no longer access the world around them. The true power of glasses was never just helping people see. It was extending the lifespan of human knowledge. Before glasses existed, humanity followed a long journey to regain clear vision. Water spheres, reading stones, glass lenses, pins, NES glasses, bifocals, contact lenses, laser surgery. Thousands of years of optical experiments, failures, and discoveries were eventually compressed into two small transparent lenses sitting on your face. Today, we often think civilization is built from enormous things: skyscrapers, machines, computers, artificial intelligence. But sometimes, civilization hides inside something incredibly small: a bar of soap, a refrigerator, a washing machine, a pair of glasses. Because all of these inventions do the same thing. They help humans overcome the limits of our own bodies. Modern glasses look simple, just two pieces of transparent material, a small frame, a common object. But inside those lenses is a story of centuries of human curiosity. A story about fighting aging, fighting weakness, and refusing to accept the boundaries of nature. So the next time you put on your glasses, remember this: you are not just looking through a pair of lenses. You are looking through hundreds of years of human invention, experimentation, and the endless desire to see farther than nature allowed. Because the greatest achievement of civilization is not making humans perfect. It is giving imperfect humans a chance to live beyond their limitations. This is IB4 Modern Life, and we will see you in the next chapter.